Welcome to Hilary Emmanuel Ministries, where faith meets power, purity and prosperity, and breakthroughs are born. At Diadem, we equip you with bold prayers, life-transforming teachings, and spiritual strategies to overcome every challenge life throws your way. Join us as we dive into God's Word, experience His presence like never before, and walk in His purpose for our lives. If you're in London, we invite you to fellowship with us in person at Diadem, 4 Pegamoid Road, N18 2NG. Don't forget to subscribe now and let's grow in faith together.
And tonight we are going to pray for our destinies. We are going to pray deliverance prayers to deliver our destinies, especially from sabotaging itself. Destinies that sabotage itself. Destinies that attack itself. Destiny that aborts itself. Destiny that is an enemy to itself. Destiny that fights against itself. Destiny that is working against itself. And that's why I'm talking to you on what I call deliverance of the self-sabotaging destiny. Deliverance of the self-sabotaging destiny. That is destiny that is the one that is attacking itself. Destiny that is the one affecting itself. In that kind of case, except you know how to pray it, you will be looking at the enemies outside, not knowing that what is affecting you is right inside the destiny. Brethren, human beings, our life is in compartments. When you get into a building, there are different rooms for different purposes. That's how our life is. The body system is different. The soul system is different. The spirit system is different. The destiny is also there. And what sometimes the enemies will do is this. They will find a way to access the destiny. And they will go there and bind themselves there. And tie themselves to the destiny. If the enemies succeed in penetrating the destiny and establish themselves there, they will be using that person's destiny to destroy that person. I don't know if you have heard this use of this language before. For those who speak Yoruba, you will hear them say, Oriburuku. What does it mean? Oriburuku means that the person's head, the person's destiny is the one affecting the person. And sometimes you see when you go to those who frequent herbalists or sorcerers, they will tell you that they need to deal with that Oriburuku, they need to deliver that Oriburuku drive it away. Which means what is affecting that person is right inside the destiny. Sometimes those who go to white garment churches, why do they take them to Riverside or to this to go and wash their head and bath them? Those are the things they are dealing with. They want to wash off the thing affecting that life from inside the destiny. So this is a very serious matter because if the thing affecting anybody is from inside the destiny, either the person came with that destiny from heaven like that, because there are some destinies packaged like that from heaven. There are others that is here on earth that others people programmed this into that destiny. Whichever way, you will be fighting and thinking the enemy is outside, not knowing that the real thing affecting that person is right inside the destiny. That is the prayer we want to pray here today. That is the deliverance we want to carry out here today. And it's a very serious deliverance. Very serious deliverance. When an enemy wants to destroy somebody, what they will do is to see if they can penetrate that destiny and tie themselves there. They program themselves into somebody's destiny. And as long as they remain there, that destiny will be the one affecting that individual. And there's nothing we can do. There's nothing we can become. There's no height we can go if our destiny is not cooperating with us. If our destiny is working against us, let them put that person into the whole money of this earth. Put that person in any position. That destiny will pull that person down and reduce that person to zero again. So the destiny is the whole totality of man. Is the whole blueprint of man. And if you see where people practice real wickedness, they always, especially those who are into serious witchcraft from the foundation, they always want to go into somebody's destiny, especially when they see that the destiny is a great destiny. When they sense that it's a very great destiny. I told you this story before of when we went for deliverance. There was this brother that came to that deliverance. And he came out to give his testimony after the program. He said in his testimony that when he was coming for that deliverance, he had an accident on the road because they didn't want him to get to that deliverance. And when he came to that deliverance, something happened. He said he was 5 years old when his grandmother died. The day the grandmother died, as she was about to die, the grandmother carried him on her lap and held him like this and then died. He said that he took all the men of the village to break the hand of that woman to collect him from the hand of the dead woman. Why would that woman go and hold a child like that and die and with her hand grabbed upon him? But that is not just ordinary physical. He says spiritually and all other things, all his life, even though he was the firstborn, he said that all his younger ones are doing well. He's the only one not doing well in the family. He came for that program. It was that grandmother that manifested. So what did that grandmother do to him? She simply tied herself to his destiny. She simply programmed herself went straight into his destiny. So no matter what he does in life, as long as that wicked enemy remains inside his destiny, there's nothing that will happen. If you like, spend 1 million years in the church. If you like, pray all the kind of prayer you know how to pray. Except you know how to pray the prayer that will go into that destiny and flush that woman out. And flush the enemy out. And the enemies know that that is the peak of all kinds of wickedness. Because with that, they have aborted that destiny. The destiny now will turn to automatic weapon against the owner. The destiny will be the one now aborting everything the person is doing. If you try this one, the destiny will abort it from the inside. If you put your hand here, every door you try to open, the destiny will be the one to abort it by itself. That's why I say that today is a deliverance of the self-aborting destinies. Destiny that is the one fighting against the individuals. And the Lord shall deliver us today. Ruth chapter 1. Ruth chapter 1. Look at verse 1. Chapter 1. Now, it came to pass in the days when the judges ruled that there was a famine in the land. And a certain man of Bethlehem, Judah, went to sojourn in the country of Moab, he and his wife and his 2 sons. You know, to start with, he said the name of the man was Elimelech. To start with, you see that this man, there was famine. But every person in Israel did not run away. Even though there was famine, every person in Israel did not pack your load and went to Moab. After all, what is the distance from Moab to Judah? It's not a far distance. So there's going to be famine also in that other area. So that's why sometimes you see, destiny could begin, when there's self-aborting destiny, it will begin to push that person into wrong decisions. So as to abort a lot of things, to cause maximum damage. So now look at this man. He has taken this decision, went to Bethlehem, Judah, to Moab. And the name of his wife Naomi and the name of his 2 sons, Mahlon and Chilion, Ephrathites of Bethlehem, Judah. And they came into the country of Moab and continued there. And Elimelech's, Naomi's husband, died. Now I want you to begin to look at all of them one by one, this family now. Look at what their destiny is doing here. First of all is the man. The destiny wiped him off. He died, and he was left and had 2 sons. And they took them wives of the women of Moab. The name of one was Orpah, and the name of the other was Ruth. And they dwelled there about 10 years. And Mahlon and Chilion died also of both of them. Do you see what is going on here? So this is the destiny of Naomi now. Let's see what happened. And the woman was left of her 2 sons and her husband. Verse 6, then she arose with her daughters-in-law, that she might return from the country of Moab. For she had heard in the country of Moab how that the Lord has visited his people in giving them bread. Just 10 years difference. All other people that endured in Judah, they survived. Not everybody died of the famine. Possibly if they had remained at home, they wouldn't have died. Verse 7, wherefore she went forth out of the place where she was, and her 2 daughters-in-law with her. And they went on the way to return unto the land of Judah. And Naomi said unto her 2 daughters-in-laws, go, return each of you to your mother's house, and so on. And those ones say no. One of them said no. The other one stuck with her, and so on. So they decided to go. And then verse 12. Turn again, my daughter, and go your way, for I am too old to have an husband. If I say I have hope. If I should have an husband also tonight, and should also bear sons, will you tarry for them until they be grown? Will you stay for them from having husband? Nay, my daughters, for it grieved me so much for your sake that the hand of the Lord is gone out against me. Verse 14. And they lifted up their voice, they cried and so on. And then the other one went back. Ruth stayed with her. And then look at what followed. Verse 19. So they two went until they came to Bethlehem. And it came to pass, when they were come to Bethlehem, that all the city was moved about them. Why was all the city moved? Who was she that all the city could come together for her? Destiny. She must have been a very woman, a great with great destiny. For her presence alone to attract the whole city. For her presence to attract everybody to come around her. So they moved about them and they said, is this Naomi? Verse 20. Look at what she said. This is where I'm going. And she said unto them, call me not Naomi, call me Mara. What does Mara mean? Bitterness, bitter water. He said, life has given me bitter water to drink. But it's the destiny. It's the destiny. It's the things inside her destiny that is feeding her with bitterness of life, with bitter waters of life. And listen, if she does not know how to pray and deal with it, that's how so many lives, everything that is manifesting in them, so many deaths is all full of bitterness, bitter experiences, painful life, hard, sorrowful life, and all those things. That's all what is coming out of that destiny. He said that life has given her bitterness. Call me Mara, for the Almighty has dealt very bitterly with me. Verse 21, I went out full, and the Lord has brought me home again empty. It was her destiny that was sabotaging her. It was her destiny that was emptying her. That she will go out full and come back empty. That is the work of a self-sabotaging destiny. That is how they operate. They strip the person of whatsoever they have before and reduce the person to nothing, to almost zero. Now look at what he said further. Why then call ye me Naomi, seeing the Lord has testified against me, and the Almighty has afflicted me? So Naomi returned, and Ruth the Moabitess, her daughter-in-law with her, which returned out of the country of Moab, and they came to Bethlehem in the beginning of barley wheat harvest. So you can see Naomi said, don't call me Naomi. Don't call me now, call me Mara. Because I can see bitterness, I can see pain, I can see sorrow coming out, gushing out from my life. But she didn't know where it's coming from. She blamed God for it. But that can only be coming out from the destiny. 1 Chronicles chapter 4. 1 Chronicles chapter 4. Look at verse 9. Self-sabotaging destinies. 1 Chronicles 4 verse 9. And Jabez was more honorable than his brethren. And his mother called his name Jabez, saying, because I bear him with sorrow. They bear him with sorrow and gave him a name like that. And that will go straight into the destiny. So each time people are calling that name, professing it, confessing it, it will begin to affect his life. Sorrowful man, man of sorrow, man of sorrow, man of sorrow. Verse 10. And Jabez called on the God of Israel. And that's what we are going to do here today. When you discover that your destiny is working against you, when you discover that your trouble is coming out from inside your destiny, you cry and call upon the God of Israel. So he called upon the God of Israel, saying, oh, that thou wouldest bless me indeed, and enlarge my cause, and that thy hand might be with me. What does that mean? He said, remove this hand of this self-sabotaging destiny from me. Let there be an exchange, and let your own hand come into my life. That's the prayer he's praying here. And thou wouldest keep me from evil, that it may not grieve me. And God granted him that which he requested. And the Lord will grant us everything we ask here today. So that was the turning point of the life of Jabez. And from there, the Bible now says he became very honorable. He even had his own city. He became an owner of a city. So we can see here that when a destiny is working against itself, it makes life hard. It makes life painful. It makes life bitter. It creates all kinds of sorrow and pain when a destiny is the one working against itself. Do you see all these ones I've shown you now? You can't find any trace there that is an enemy that caused it. You can't find any trace that's an enemy that caused it for them. It's coming out from inside the destiny. Then let me show you this. Jeremiah chapter 20. Jeremiah chapter 20. Look at verse 14. Jeremiah 20 verse 14. He says, cursed be the day wherein I was born. Why was Jeremiah cursing the day he was born? Because the day he was born was the day his destiny started on earth. Apparently he was cursing the destiny itself. And I'm still going to show, we are going to read further. What will ever push a man to begin to curse his own destiny? He said, cursed be the day wherein I was born. Let not the day wherein my mother bare me be blessed. Do you know that if they want to attack the destiny, they use the date of birth? They use the date of birth to attack a destiny. And that is exactly what Jeremiah is doing here. He said, let that day not be blessed. Verse 15. Cursed be the man who brought tidings to my father, saying, a man child is born unto thee, making him very glad. He said, that man that went and told my father that they have born a man child for, he said, let that man be accursed. Verse 16. And let that man be as the cities which the Lord overthrew, and repented not. And let him hear the cry in the morning and the shouting at noontide. These are terrible curses. Verse 17. Because, he said, what is the cause of the man that went and just told the father that, congratulations, so your wife has delivered a son? No. He says, because he slew me not from the womb. He said, why didn't that man kill me that day from the womb? So what is it that was in the life of Jeremiah that was so painful, so bitter, that he could be pronounced this upon himself? You know, brethren, on our own, if you are standing afar, maybe you know Jeremiah, and you know him as the prophet of God. On your own, you'll be envying him, oh, mighty man of God, prophet of the Most High God. Not knowing the pain, not knowing what he's going through, not knowing that he's causing even his destiny. Look at what follows. That my mother might have been my grief, and her womb to be always great with me. He said, why didn't he die in the womb? Verse 18. Wherefore came I forth out of the womb to see what? To see labor and sorrow. This is what is pushing him to cause his. And where is the labor and sorrow coming from? Inside the destiny. And that's why he was causing his date of birth. Because that's where, even though he realized, but he didn't know how to pray and deliver it. He didn't know how to deal with it. This is the only way he knew that my days should be consumed with shame. And all these things can only emanate from the destiny. You remember when God came to him when he was a child in chapter 1? Remember what God told him? He said that I will harden your face. I will harden the face of the enemy. Why was God trying to tell him? He was telling him what is inside the destiny. That your destiny is not a friendly one. No. You are going to have enemies. So it's inside the destiny. Oh. Everybody is going to be against you, the whole country. And you will be against them. And you can see the consequence. Why Jeremiah was cursing the day he was born. It was his destiny he was cursing. And it's because of the volume of sorrow and pain that the destiny was bringing upon him. The volume of sorrow and pain. Jeremiah chapter 17. Jeremiah 17. Look at verse 14. He said, heal me, O Lord, and I shall be healed. Save me, and I shall be saved, for thou art my praise. Verse 15. Behold, they say unto me, where is the word of the Lord? Let it come now. The enemies are mocking him. You know, when the destiny is working against somebody, especially a child of God, the enemies will be mocking. Enemies will be mocking. Verse 16. This is interesting. Verse 16 say, as for me, I have not hastened from being a pastor. He said, I didn't like to be a pastor. That's not what I desire. That's not what I want to be. Though it's part of my destiny, he said, I have not hastened from being a pastor to follow thee. Neither have I desired the woeful days. Say all this in common with woeful days. So which means the destiny, the ministry, the calling is loaded with woeful days. Woeful days. I desire, and knowest thou, which came out of my lips was right before thee. Verse 17. Be not a terror unto me. Who is a terror unto him? Not the enemy. He's not talking about the enemies. He's thinking it's the Lord. But that was the content of his destiny. It was programmed inside his destiny. He said, be not a terror. Do you know, brethren, there are destinies that are terror against their owners. Destinies that are the ones terrorizing the owners. He said, be not a terror against me, unto me. Thou art my hope in the days of evil. You know, when the enemies and the foundation want to attack anyone, they will find their ways into the destiny. They will want to tie themselves, program themselves, establish themselves solidly inside the destiny. And as long as they remain there alive, they will be the one terrorizing that person from the inside. They will be the one manifesting all the negative things, all the sorrow and pain, until that destiny is delivered from that attack. Job chapter 3. Job chapter 3. Look at verse 1. We all know the whole story of Job. We know also the experiences of Job. Look at verse 1. After this, opened Job his mouth and cursed his day. He cursed his day. And Job spake and said, let the day perish wherein I was born. This is serious. Say, let that day, his date of birth. If you curse that date of birth, you are cursing the destiny itself. Because that's the day the destiny put its leg on this earth first. Say, let that day perish. And the night in which it was said, there is a man-child conceived. Do you see where it started from? He said from the day he was conceived in the womb, where the destiny journey started. He started to curse that day. Verse 4. Let that day be darkness. Let not God regard it from above. Neither let the light shine upon it. Let darkness and the shadows of death stain it. Let a cloud dwell upon it. Let the blackness of the day terrify it. This is serious. This is serious. And we know, it's very easy to read the experiences of Job and walk away as if that was not a human being, but himself that went through it. He got to a point he didn't know. One, he didn't want to curse God, so he turned on his own destiny and started to curse the destiny. Because all those things are coming out of the destiny. They are coming out of the destiny that feed their owners with bitter and wormwood, that feed their destiny with pain and sorrow day and night. Verse 6. As for that night, let darkness seize upon it. Let it not be joined unto the days of the year. He said, let them cut off that day from the days of the year. Let it not come into the numbers of the months. Verse 7. Lo, let that night be solitary. Let no joyful voice come therein. Let them curse it that curse the day, who are ready to raise up their mourning. This verse needs serious understanding. He said there are people that specialize in cursing the day. He said, let those people who are expert, who have the gift, who have the capability, let them curse that day particularly for him, in case his own curse is not working on that day. Verse 9. Let the stars of the twilight thereof be dark. Let it look for light, but have none. Neither let it see the dawning of the day. Because what is the offense of? You remember Jeremiah? It was the man that went and told the father that he gave the congratulations. That's the man he cursed. This one now is the day he is cursing. That is the birthday itself and the destiny itself. And what is the offense of that day? Because it shut not up the door of my mother's womb, nor hid sorrow from my eyes. Say, will have caused him to die inside the womb, so that he will not come out. Why died I not from the womb? Why did I not give up the ghost when I came out of the belly? Why did the knees prevent me? Or why the breast that I should suck? So when somebody gets to this kind of level of lamentation, you know that this is a terrible state to be in. And it is the impact of the destiny. It is the effect of the destiny. Verse 13. He said, for now, should I have lain still and be quiet? He said, assuming those things kill me, assuming they didn't have allowed me to come out, he said, I wouldn't have been going through this today. I would have been quiet. I should have slept. Then had I been at rest. Verse 14. With kings and counselors of the earth, which build desolate places for themselves. Verse 15. Or with princes that had gold, who filled their houses with silver. Or as an hidden untimely birth, I had not been, as infant which never saw light. There the wicked cease from troubling, and there the weary be at rest. He said, assuming all those things happened to him the day he was born, and he didn't come out, he said there will be no place for the wicked, for Satan to come and attack him. Verse 18. There the prisoners rest together. He's talking about death. See, that's where prisoners or princes or kings and all of them, everybody rests together. They hear not the voice of the oppressor. No more oppression. The small and great are there, and the servant is free from his master. When somebody begins to wish death and desire death so desperately, and go into this kind of level of wish and prayer and pronouncements, then you know the destiny is not really friendly. The destiny is destructive. The destiny is feeding him with beyond what he can take anymore. Verse 20. Wherefore is light given to him that is in mystery, and life unto the bitter in soul, which long for death, but he cometh not. Say he's desperately longing and begging for death, and death refused to come. When destiny wants to really torment somebody, the person will not die, but it's better to die than to be alive. I remember one young man when we joined the army. That's always his parable. Always speaking that language, that Lord, please do not preserve us because of suffering. So Job said that somebody is begging for death and the death refused to come. And dig for it. He says he's even digging for it more than for his hidden treasures, which rejoice exceedingly and are glad when they can find the grave. Verse 23. Why is light given to a man whose way is hid, and whom God has hedged in? For my sign cometh before I eat, and my roaring are poured out like the waters. For the thing which I greatly feared is come upon me, and that which I was afraid of is come unto me. I was not in safety, neither had I rest, neither was I quiet, yet trouble came. And you can see that all these are part of destiny. Things that are the destiny is pushing out. It got to this point, Job could not take it anymore. He was desiring death. But the plan was not for him to die. God will not allow death. Because God has told Satan, he said, you cannot touch his life. You have to preserve his life. So death is not part of the equation. And life is not easy also. So you can see that the only way out is when that destiny is delivered. Listen carefully. The kind of prayers we are going to pray here today, there are some destiny that have become irredeemable. Such destiny, you might need to utterly destroy it and kill it and wipe it out. Beg God to totally remove it. And then beg for a brand new destiny. Pray for a brand new destiny. Completely brand new one. That's the only way. There are other ones that can be delivered. There are other ones that can be flushed. There are other ones that can be purged. There are other ones that the enemies can be wiped out. And then recovers and redeemed and renewed again. But for those who cannot be redeemed anymore, you might need a brand new one. And the Lord shall give us brand new ones today. So we are going to close our eyes now. We are going into prayers. This is your own prayer. This is your own destiny. You know how to pray for yourself. You know what you have been going through. You can see from the mouth of all these witnesses that we read here today, how they describe their own situation with their own mouth. You can see how Jeremiah described his own. You can see how Job described his own. You see how Naomi described his own. You see how Jabez described his own. You can see all of them, how they describe their peculiar situations, things that their destinies are doing to them. You are going to describe your own too. And the Lord will deliver you today. Let's close our eyes and begin to talk to the Lord. First of all, we are going to tell the Lord, my God and my Father, I am deeply sorry for exposing my destinies to damages. You see, Elimelech, possibly if Elimelech has remained in Judah and didn't go to Moab, maybe he wouldn't have died. Maybe his children wouldn't have died. He exposed them possibly to those dangers. You are going to say, my God and my Father, where my decisions, where my actions have exposed my destiny, my wife's destiny.
Thank you for watching. If this message blessed you, don't forget to like, share and subscribe to join our growing community of faith. You've just listened to the sermon, but there are powerful prayers that follow. Due to social media rules and guidelines, the prayers have been removed from this video. However, you can access the full prayers and more life-changing resources by visiting www.pastorhillary.org or downloading our app Diadem Media. If you're in the London area, we'd love to have you fellowship with us in person at 4 Pegamoid Road, N18 2NG. If you have any questions about this message, want counseling from Pastor Hillary, or wish to share your testimonies following the prayers, please leave a comment below and someone from our team will get in touch. Until next time, may God bless you abundantly and guide you in all your ways. Stay victorious.